What's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess. All right, y'all. We back, almost back. I'm feeling better, okay? Oh, praise God. God is good. All right, girl. They trying to take it. Let me see something. They trying to take your boy out. They're not going to take me out, okay? I don't know what's going around. I don't know what's going around. I don't know what's going around. But my sister was sick. I told y'all this. Well, some of you don't watch every video, I know. But I was telling some of the cousins this in, I think it was the Potomac review, that my sister was sick. Her boss was sick. Some of her coworkers were sick. Bailey was sick. I have a niece named Bailey. Bailey was sick at one point. I hadn't even seen Bailey nor my sister. So I don't know, but it's something going around. Like look, like I said, I don't work for the CDC, but girl, stay in the house if you can. Wash your hands more than you're supposed to, probably longer than what they tell us to, which is 20 seconds. Wear your masks, as Andrew Caldwell will tell the girls and boys, wear your masks, and be good. I know some of the cousins told me in the comments that some of them and some of their families were sick. So, just, 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 just pray, baby. just pray. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into what I wanted to come down here and talk about, which was Wendy Williams. All right, so this is good news. This is according to TMZ. Wendy Williams, my neurologist, says no frontotemporal dementia. Wendy Williams does not have the medical condition a judge has used to justify keeping her in a highly restrictive guardianship for more than 3 years, according to a top neurologist. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Wendy recently completed a battery of tests in NYC, and the neurologist concluded she does not have dementia. The neurologist provided Wendy's legal team with the results late last month. The findings conflict with an earlier test when, according to Wendy's guardian, she tested positive for the condition. Frontotemporal dementia, according to multiple experts to whom we have spoken, never gets better, only worse. Yet Wendy has exhibited remarkable neurological resilience since she became clean and sober 3 years ago, although she is still locked in the guardianship. Ooh, so it was the bottle. It was the bottle. Oh, baby. We're told Wendy's legal team will file legal docs with the court in the next 2 weeks, paving the way for a hearing where they will ask the judge to terminate the guardianship. If the judge digs in and refuses to end the guardianship, powerhouse lawyer Joe Tacopina will then demand a jury trial and ask jurors to free Wendy. Girl, I don't like stuff like this. Girl, I'm not even going to get worked up. No, I'm going to say it. I done said this before. I'm not mad at any financial institution taking necessary measures to try and protect their client, right? You go somewhere, it's happened to me, right? I barely use my debit card. Well, I use it more now. But at one point, I rarely use my debit card. And I went somewhere, I think I was trying to get $40 out the ATM, and it declined it. And I had to go to my phone and approve the transaction. So I'm not mad at banking institutions for trying to look after people, girl. Where are these charges coming in, girl? What's going on, girl? Do you know that, girl, the card been swiped for, girl, a few $1,000s, sister? Girl, just a FYI, you may want to look at your girl. You may want to look at your account, right? I do believe that when Wendy first went to the bank, because from the story that I remember, Wendy went to them, but I think, girl, this is no shade to my auntie. I think Wendy was a little, and I don't think she really knew the ins and outs of what she was really asking them to do. So again, from the story that I remember, she is the one who kind of got the ball rolling on the guardianship, but I don't think that she really knew that it would be to this extent. I think Wendy just probably thought, girl, make sure y'all decline these transactions or make sure I get my money back, because it wasn't me. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I don't think she knew it was going to be this at all. But here we are, right? I'm never going to change my mind on this. Wendy is not a threat to society. She ain't got nothing to do with this, but I'm using her as an example. Karen Huger was a threat to society. Karen would get in her car drunk. Wendy got in the back seat of her car and she had a driver. You see the difference? See, Wendy was a responsible drunk. And she would go and get her bottles and she would go back home. It's not funny. And she would go back home and lock her door and she would drink herself to sleep. But Wendy wouldn't hurt nobody but herself. Karen is on her 4th alcohol-related offense. And it probably would be more than that. She just didn't get caught. You see what I'm saying? Britney Spears is not a threat to society. Now, mama be over in her house, minding her business, spinning in circles with knives and forks sometimes. But girl, if anybody land on a knife, it ain't gonna hurt you or me. It's gonna hurt her. You see what I'm saying? Britney ain't a threat to society. Wendy's not a threat to society. So for it to be to this degree, when it comes to Wendy and her situation, I think it's absolutely insane. I really do. And I hope she gets out of it. And I think what makes it worse for me, girl, no shade, shout out to the white people who watch my channel, girl. We love you over here, right? But girl, what made it worse for me, if it was three white bitches over the goddamn church's money. The judge is a white lady, the lawyer is a white lady, and then the guardian is a white lady. That's some nasty work. All over the rich black lady's money. I'm not saying it'd be better if her guardian was black and walking around here with, a natural cut and a dashiki. It still would be wrong. But it just brings an extra layer to it when I find out all the people who got their hands in a cookie jar are white fish. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I ain't never liked it. I ain't gonna like it today. I ain't gonna like it tomorrow. I ain't gonna never like it. I don't like it. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. Anyways. Let me, okay, hold up. Speaking of Joe, Wendy attended the wedding of Joe's son, Chris, who married Emma White. By the way, Chris is about to get his second Stanley Cup ring. Girl, I don't care about that white man. Anyway, so I didn't know Joe had a son. Joe is a handsome. Joe gives me, girl, no shade to Joe, but Joe gives me old school like Scarface Mafia tea. Girl, he do. Girl, that probably sounds so wrong to say. I probably shouldn't say that. Right? But Joe, every time I look at Joe, Joe gives me like an old school, like, girl, he know where the bodies are buried. Girl, he gives me old school Scarface Mafia, just like, girl, like head of the gang. He's not like that. He's a bona fide lawyer, but that's just what he gives me. I'm happy for Wendy. Hopefully everything, works out for Wendy. And she'll be good to go. I don't give a damn if Wendy took all her money out the bank tomorrow and set it on fire. It's hers. And if Wendy paid all her taxes and paid all her debts, if Wendy wanted to take every dollar she had and set it on fire, that's going to be on her. And let me just say this also before we end this conversation about Auntie Wendy. If something happens and Wendy is taken advantage of by her family, or if Wendy is taken advantage of, I was about to say by Kevin, by her family or loved ones, or if Wendy just blows through her money, then that's going to be on Wendy. At that point, the bank or whomever can say, Bitch, we tried to tell y'all. But that'll be on Wendy. At some point, it's kind of like somebody who may be battling addiction. You can only do so much. You can. It can be a mandate for them to go to rehab, but you forcing them to go to rehab ain't gonna help. Ain't gonna change nothing if they don't want to go. So you can try to help Wendy, but whatever's gonna happen with Wendy is gonna happen with Wendy. And at least you can say, when it's all said and done, if something doesn't go the right way, girl, at least we tried. And that's it. But shout out to Wendy. Again, hopefully everything works out. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on. Oh, now I do need to say this though. Wendy, girl, the only nigga I am worried about is that Kevin, the husband, the ex-husband. And I'm going to say this, and I tried to tell y'all, and some of y'all tried to get mad at me when I told y'all that Kevin Jr. ain't had no business dealing with the money. And then we found out that Kevin was over there, girl, getting happy with the Amex. And then some of y'all had to come down to the comment section and say, I'm sorry, cousin Rodney, you was right. And I said, girl, I know, it's okay. It's all right. I tried to tell y'all you can't trust Kevin either. You can't trust Kevin Jr. and you damn sure can't trust Kevin Sr. because Jr. is too young. And I do think, when I say young, I'm not just talking about age, I'm talking about the way that he moves. Because I do believe that if Kevin was over the church's money, it wouldn't take but this much for Big Kevin to get in his ear, and then he would have access to the money. The only person that I trust at this point to do the right thing, and I will still have my good eye on her, is the niece. What's her name? Alex. That's about the only one. I wouldn't trust Kevin Jr. at all. Because from what they said, baby, you spends the money like you make the money. Nigga. Okay? Don't forget, bitch, that's Wendy's money. Now you got access to it. But you gotta look too happy, and you part of the reason too why your mama in the situation she in. Because you knew your mama was over there drunk, and girl sitting in that room in the dark, and you was getting happy with that goddamn credit card. Okay? Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so this is according to NBCSports.com. Antonio Brown returns to Miami to face attempted unaliving charges. Remember this? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Antonio Brown is back in Miami, and he'll be facing attempted unaliving charges there. Detained last week in Dubai and extradited to New York, Brown arrived today in South Florida. Andy Slater of Fox Sports 640 has the video of Brown deplaning. On Sunday, Brown's lawyer issued a statement claiming that the 12-year NFL veteran was acting in self-defense when he allegedly fired shots during an incident at a May 2025 boxing event in Miami. The ultimate question for a jury ultimately would be whether Florida's broad stand-your-ground rule applies to this situation. Brown eventually will appear in court. Given that he fled after the warrant was issued, there's a chance that he'll be denied bond or that he'll be placed on a strict restrictions if allowed to be released on house arrest. Eventually, a trial date will be set. Brown faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted. So basically he got jumped. Long story short, he got jumped and the fight was pretty much over. And then he ran and he got a gun, I think from his security or from somebody. And he came back and he was blasting. So at that point, based off what I read online, it's not considered self-defense because the fight was over. Again, I don't know. It could be different from state to state again. You know, rules change. So I think that's where the question starts to come into play. Like, because I think it would be one thing if in the midst of the fight, he reached down into his purse and girl got the blasting. Then that might be one thing, right? Okay? Gonna get a motherfucker up off me today. But then the next thing is the fight was over. We know you just got your ass whooped, but you ran and you got something and then you came back. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. And I don't know how the law works in Florida. Girl, I barely know how it works in Texas. So, you know, it is what it is. He is hell on wheels, but I can understand how. I'm not trying to defend the nigga, but I can understand how you could probably be out of bed. Because if I got my ass whooped, if I just got my ass whooped, bitch. Okay. Girl, girl, I can't promise I'm not gonna come back, girl. Girl, knocking pictures off the wall. Bitch, you better duck, okay? Cause here she come. I guess it kind of just goes to show you have to kind of. I guess you just got to be careful in situations because you can end up facing 15 years in prison. Mm, 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 mm. I'll keep y'all updated on what happens next. So remember the story with David and I had never heard of him until this story broke. The singer David and then the young girl, her name was Celeste. Well, listen to this. This is an update. The Jasmine brand reports David investigation takes a turn. Police say no evidence of unaliving in Celeste Rivas' death. So the Los Angeles Police Department says there is currently no evidence of the M word in the death of Celeste Rivas. You know, I'm messing somebody's name up. We're going to call her baby Celeste, whose body was found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer David. According to KTLA, investigators are still awaiting the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's official determination on the cause and manner of death. Without that information, officials say they cannot conclude whether foul play occurred. The LAPD emphasized that they are continuing to examine all aspects of the case in order to provide clarity and justice for her family. For now, the only possible crime identified is the concealment of her body. Under California law, concealing an accidental death is considered a misdemeanor and can result up to 1 year in county jail and a fine. No suspects have been named and no charges have been submitted to the district attorney's office. The investigation is ongoing and authorities are urging the public not to rush to conclusions. What are your thoughts on this update, girl? I don't know. Girl, they say he was, girl, I don't know. Girl, the baby's body was chopped up, y'all. She was, what, 13? 14 at the time of her death? I don't know. I wasn't there. It's very weird that from the story that I remember, him being involved with her. Girl, I don't know. It's weird. Her body was chopped up in a plastic bag and put in his car, and they found it in the trunk of a car registered to him. And he was involved with her, and she was a minor. I don't know, girl. I'm a hush. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll keep y'all updated if something comes out or once they receive the information back. All right, y'all have a good day. Talk to y'all later. Bye.